my peaches, I'm Eleanor and I'm getting ready to pull your 2020 year ahead tarot forecast. I'll be using Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright. I'm going to pull 12 cards, one for each month. And then when I do your monthlies, I'm going to pull more cards and we can unpack the themes that come out with each card for each month. Each video is going to be labeled by zodiac sign, and it's also going to have a title so you'll know if it might be for you. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay because I'm reading for a lot of people and I do offer personal readings. My information will be in the description box below. Hit me up. I would love to see what's going on and help you out. Also, this reading may not necessarily resonate with your sun sign, so I recommend looking up all of your sign placements, because if you're more interested in a love reading, you might want to know where your sign is and your Venus sign is, or if you're wanting to know more about sex or your passion project, you'll want to know where your Mars is placed. Deeply personal, emotional things will be your moon. How other people are perceiving you, that'll be your rising. So if you get a full chart, you'll be able to get more out of my readings and find out which video is going to be the best one for you to watch and be most relevant to you. Also, this is my first video series ever, so I have a lot of wrinkles to work out, but bear with me. I know you just want to get to the messages, right? So let's get to it. Hey Libra, let's get started on finding out what is going on for you in 2020. Libra, in 2020, we'll get 12 cards, one for each month. This will be a general overview, and then I'll do a monthly reading for each card, where I'll draw 4 more and get a weekly detail of how each of these is going to play out for you in separate videos. For right now, we're just going to get a general 2020 forecast, month by month, for Libra. Libra, what's going on for Libra in January? Libra, you're starting off in January. It looks like a New Year's resolution to me. Trying to start a new habit, trying to invest in a new venture or project. This is just going to be planting the seeds of something that's going to grow throughout the year, whether it's going to be related to your health, your finances. But to me, the Ace of Pentacles is particularly when it comes out in January, this is going to be all about your New Year's resolution and taking the first steps in the real tangible world to achieve it. Whether that's doing your shopping, making your to-do list, it's starting to actually take some action in some way towards a goal, a physical goal in January. So Libra, let's see what February has for you. What are you going to be dealing with in February, Libra, for February? 3 of Swords. Something is bumming you out in February, Libra. I'm so sorry. Maybe a Leo's bumming you out. I don't know. But whatever this is, it's something that you can, it's a narrative that's breaking your heart that you can retell and that you can change. It's your own thoughts kind of torturing you. It is internalizing shame and guilt that aren't necessarily yours and that you don't have to. It's taking responsibility for things that aren't necessarily yours to take responsibility for. It is a bummer, but it's one that can be overcome and avoided, even because it can be the way a past memory is kind of harshing your groove now because you're afraid maybe history is going to repeat itself. And if you don't recognize that now is not then, it very well could repeat itself. So you have to remember that what's happening now isn't history repeating itself. Now is always a new situation. Now is always a new time, and you can always make a new choice and not manifest the same thing again. So 3 of Swords sucks, dude, Libra, but it is going to be under your control. And when we break this down, we'll figure out how to move through that in a way that brings you out on top at the end of February, all right? That is no problem. I'm not scared of no 3 of Swords. And Libra, you're pretty balanced and chill. I think you'll be fine. I know you'll be fine, because I'm going to help you in February. All right, Libra, let's see what March has got going. Libra in March, the Page of Cups. So it is showing success in moving through whatever this is in February for you, because by March, Libra, you're going to be feeling ready to take on something new emotionally. It's going to be an ability to be vulnerable in a new way and to learn something new about yourself. So there's going to be a teachable moment here in February with that 3 of Swords that's going to make you curious and thirsty for more and to grow emotionally and to repair and heal a part of yourself emotionally and strengthen yourself to move forward and mature in some way regarding your emotional or spiritual side. It's going to have you a little bit connecting, feeling more connected to, you know, in all people, not to get all woo-woo. All right, Libra, in April, we have the Hermit. So maybe we do get a little woo-woo here after all. So this seems to get you curious about something about in yourself and wanting to learn more and wanting to grow more and wanting to mature in some way. So in order to do so, this shows you kind of becoming your own guru in a way and sorting out what that is and figuring out. I feel like what you become here is curious to find your own truth and curious to go on a journey of self-discovery. And so here with the Hermit, that's in full force and trying to define your truth and your vision and what light, your inner light, and what am I? The big whole, you know, existential question. You're on kind of an existential journey here, and it's going to be something that doesn't involve others. This is all you figuring that out. All right, Libra, that's kind of cool, and I'm excited to pull those 4 clarifier cards in April to see what that's going to reveal. Okay, Libra, in May. After that, after being a Hermit in May, the Knight of Cups. So there's some success here. From this beginning of curiosity, this desire to move forward and to mature, this desire to grow. And so you're doing some hardcore work. This is some very heavy spiritual lifting you're doing here in April, Libra, because you emerge in May. I kind of think it looks like Steve Harrington from Stranger Things with his hair. Anyway. But this is where you're going to start to bring it out. Whatever that curiosity is, you're going to start to get a workable knowledge, something that you're going to be able to share with others. And it's going to be something that's on an emotional level. So it's going to be clearing out blockages in your heart, clearing out things that have kept you separate and kept you apart, and breaking down walls so that you can share and give and receive love in new ways. Libra. So Libra, in June, it shows you slowing down a little bit and getting bogged down. This is the work's getting a little bit gummed up because of maybe responsibilities, committing to too much. This emotional progression that you have going on here can get a little exciting, and you can get fired up in a way that has you saying yes an awful lot. And in June, you're going to realize maybe that you have said yes too much, and there may be a call to take back some of those yeses, I think, in June. Libra, let's see what's going on for you in July. Hopefully you've lightened your load a little bit, because it looks like you've got just too much going on in June. The overcommitment that comes from the zealousness of this Knight of Cups. You get it feels so good that you can tend to overcommit to things. Seven of Pentacles in July, Libra. So this is where you're going to be assessing. This calls back here, this January thing. Whatever you're starting here in January with this New Year's resolution, after all of this that you've gone through so far in the year, July is where you're going to start to reevaluate. If you've been keeping up with this, you're going to be looking to see what of those new actions and new habits that you created, what has stuck, what hasn't stuck, what's worked and what hasn't worked, what has wasted your time, what is worth keeping around. You're going to be kind of looking at the balance sheet of what's progressed since this beginning here in January and deciding what's going to stay and what's going to go of that, whatever it is, whatever we find out January is that you're starting, and July is where you start to decide what stays and goes from those investments and from those beginnings and those new habits. So Libra, in August, the Ace of Swords, there's a brand new idea. There's an aha moment, and it's going to come probably after this assessment period in July. I feel like that after you're able to put down some of these burdens from June, and have time to assess, not the damage. You're going to have some energy freed up after June to do some assessment. And when you do that assessment, you're going to get a new clarity, a new idea, a new action plan. Everything's going to make more sense when you've actually looked at it. Because I feel like with this new beginning in January in some kind of physical sense, and there's going to be a really deep dive here emotionally through the spring, and then you're going to come out with a brand new clarity in August. New idea, a new truth. And it feels kind of like where these two things come together, where this is very spiritual and this is very emotional. This is where it all kind of becomes grounded in reality and starts to make sense. This is where everything comes together and makes sense for you in August. Libra, what is going on in September? This is getting kind of exciting. I'm liking this progression for you, Libra. A whole nother reading. Okay, so this is your third ace in this reading in this year, Libra, where this is going to be in a mental clarity, where everything makes sense. This is going to be where you're, I feel like if you follow this to its logical conclusion, it results in a brand new emotional start. This seems, from this Page of Cups to the Hermit to the Knight of Cups, there's a progression and a cocooning. There's like a latent, something bubbling below the surface, maturing and brewing and baking. And here's where it explodes out the top and everyone gets to see it. You get to pull it out of the oven and everyone gets to smell it, and you get to taste it, and you get to feel it, and you get to enjoy it in some way that feels delicious and good and yummy and makes you cry and salivate. Libra in September. So Libra, what's going on in October? That is so yummy, those two aces right there. All right, Libra, October. Judgment. So we have these two new beginnings in your mental clarity and in your love, in your heart. So with this new clarity in your mind and heart, it's going to, I feel like they come together and spark a rebirth. They spark a coming back to life and call you into service, because there's this kind of, where there's a dormancy and where there's a process and where there's like a butterfly kind of doing its thing in the chrysalis and you can't see it. These two aces feel like where it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen a butterfly come out, but it comes out little by little, and these, so he's got his head out, he's kind of got his body out, he's rocking back and forth, he's bursting forth, and here's where the wings actually finally come out and unfurl. And not only has it unfurled and it's kind of stood there for a minute, but it flies away into, this is being called into service in a big way. So everything you've gone through this whole year has been building up to October, where you're flying into what it's all about. It's all about what you're being called towards in October. It's all preparing you for your, I hate to say life purpose, but it's kind of, to me, judgment is being called into what it's all, into what you're here for. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're full on, full force into it and successful in it, but you're gonna hear it. You're gonna be like, you're gonna hear the call towards whatever it is. Libra in November, the Hierophant. So where this may feel like an exciting new call, a revival of something inside of you, there's going to be kind of an eagerness to go outside the box and to go blaze a new trail. But it's saying here in November that you're going to want to stay by the book and stay within the lines and learn what there is to learn from the people that are in the know and are the experts and the authorities in whatever this area is. That doesn't mean that this is where you will stay. That just means that in November, that after you've received this call, there's like a boot camp that you're going to have to learn the ropes. So this is the transformation this whole year of who you need to be to hear this call, and here's where you're going to learn how it's done. So like education, where you're the page here in middle school and you're the knight in high school, and you graduate from college here, but then you have to go be an intern and still learn the ropes in a real way. You can't, it's like having to know the rules before you can break them. So you're learning the rules, the ins and outs, before you can create your own loopholes in November, Libra. So Libra for December. What's going on? How are we finishing December for Libra? Finishing out, closing out December, Libra, with some balance, with debts being repaid, whether that means you getting out of it or someone repaying you. It can be financial, but it can also be favors given or repaid. It can be examining the reasons that you say yes to so many things, and do you do so because it feels good to give or because you want something back? And so these are the kinds of questions that you're going to be answering, making sure that you are giving in a balanced way for the right reasons, and that doing so is getting what you expect in return, and discovering what your motivations are behind those things so that you aren't giving too much or not enough, in alignment with your integrity and your intentions. Interesting. Okay, Libra, check in with me and we'll see what all of these are going to look like month by month. I can't wait.